Okay, we're on lesson 3.3. It's going to be percent increase and decrease. So percent increase and decrease 2. Okay, let's call it 2. Let's see if I can get some better lighting here. Um, I'm not going to do the visuals this time. Some of you guys did not draw out the visuals yesterday, so you're going to lose points on that. You might want to resubmit it with the visuals on like number 1 through 4. If you just worked it out in your head or worked it out on the paper, that's not the point. Doing the visuals is important to build understanding. That's why I'm having you do it. So go back and rewatch the video and resubmit that. Otherwise, you're going to get half credit off probably for not showing out the visuals. Okay. But we'll do a couple examples here of what you need to do on this next assignment. 2 examples. Okay, so basically we're going to calculate it out now without the visual, but like I said, if you did the visuals, this all will make much more sense, I feel. Okay, 50 is increased 20%. Okay, and make sure you are showing these out. I'm actually going to show you 2 ways, way number 1 and way number 2. You got to show both of these on your assignment. Show me you understand both. And even if you can do this in your head, I do need you to show out to show me your understanding. Okay? So way number 1 is we just take what we started with, but then we add on this percent. So how do you find out 20% of 50? Well, you do 50 times 0.20, right? Move the decimal over 2 and multiply. So if you can work it out in your head, it's going to be, what, 10? Okay, you can use a calculator if you want, but, sometimes a lot faster if you don't. Okay, so this is 50%, or sorry, 20% of 50 is 10, but since it says increased, this should say is increased by 20%, so it's going to be up to 60. Okay, so you started with 50, and you added on 20% more. This is 20% more. Way number 2 is actually the more important way and maybe a little bit different than what you're used to. We're going to do 50, but then I'm going to multiply it by a factor. The factor is actually 1 plus r. Okay, r is the rate. So in this case, we're going to times it by 1 plus 0.2. Okay, 20%, 0.20 if you want to say 20%. Okay, so in other words, 50 times 1.20. Okay, so that's taking the 50 and it's multiplying it by the 1 to meet, like over here, because we already had 50 to start with, but then it's also going to multiply the 50 by the 0.20. If you think about distributing here, this would look exactly turn into this, but if we do it like this, we're just going to do 50 times 1.2, plug that in the calculator, and get 60. Okay, so you're going to get the same answer both ways, but still show how you're getting it if you want to get full credit. Okay, one more example. Make sure you're turning in your notes today with your assignment for 4 points credit on that too. Let's do a decrease. 70 is decreased by 65%. Okay, so quite a decrease. It's going to more than cut it in half. It's going to take a lot off. Okay, if you did the visual, you kind of have an idea of what this is saying. It helps you understand. So we're going to do 70 to start with, but we're going to take off. We're decreasing by 65%. So 65% would be times by 0.65. Okay, so 70 minus. Okay, here's where you can pull out your calculator and do 70 times 0.65. It's 45.5. Okay, so we're taking off that 45.5 because that was 65%. 24.5. Okay, it more than cut it in half, right? If you think about the visual, it's going down by a lot. That's way number 1. Way number 2 is going to be like this, 70 again, but we're going to do 1 minus r. Why did I minus? Well, decrease, okay? decreasing, so that's a minus situation. So in this case, 70, the rate, R is the rate, it's like the percent, but as a decimal, 0.65. Okay, so 70 times 1 minus 0.65. Again, think if I distributed here, it would look just like this. I would get 70, and then when I multiply these, I would get that. Okay, but we're just going to put these together and say, okay, well, what's 1 minus 0.65? Well, it's $1 minus 65 cents, right? These are 35 cents. If you did the visual again, that should drive it home that, well, why am I minusing much? Well, because I'm going down 65% on that visual. From 100%, I'm going down 65%. Okay, you're actually only left with 35%, right? So if I work that out, I mean, you could type it in, but it should come out the same, right? But double check your answer, 24.5. So way number one, you're just taking what you start with and either adding or subtracting from that, the percent. Way number two is more like a multiplying factor. I'm taking what I started with and multiplying it by this factor. If it increases, 1 plus the percent. If it's decreased, it's 1 minus the percent. Show this out clearly if you want it for full credit on your assignment there, guys. If you finish that, you also have a Delta Math. You can start today and see how far you can get on all that work today. All right, hopefully I'll see you guys soon.